do you think that the possibility exists for Ukraine proper, less some of its land to be included into NATO? I heard of Tom Cotton's U.S. senator, I think from Missouri, recently being interviewed, where he was asked a question: should NATO be um, you know, opened up to include Ukraine? And he said that's a bad idea. It's going to bring us automatically into a new war, into a hot war. But is that the case? Is it possible that the whole bring Ukraine to NATO thing could be included as part of a peace deal? Kind of imagine Zelensky and Putin go to Camp David with Trump, and out comes this idea where um, Ukraine now has the protection. It doesn't have to fear anymore that it might be invaded in the future because it's not part of NATO, but at the same time, it's lost territory. Is that conceivably something that might take place?
Hard to say. That's a very the NATO partners and people like Cotton and others are very, skittish about an idea like that. And Ukraine, from their point of view, the thing is, hey, we had a security guarantee, a multi-party, multi-government security guarantee. And where did that lead us in terms of where we are now? Nuclear proliferation is an element in this discussion also. A while ago, I don't know, a few years ago, Kissinger, Schultz, and a few other former secretaries from the United States, foreign secretary types from the United States published, I think it was a New York Times article calling for the world to go in the direction of nuclear disarmament, and that the future belongs in that category. Well, Ukraine disarmed and is probably the centerpiece for the argument why you should not disarm given your exposure. But to direct an answer specifically to your question, there are parties who believe Ukraine should be given. The closer the country is to Ukraine, the more favorable it is to allowing Ukraine to join NATO. What is, the parts of Ukraine that are not under Russia to start with, and negotiations about the rest of Ukraine. So, for example, Poland, the Baltic states, and so on, Romania, are very close to or willing to consider allowing Ukraine to join. The further away you go from the border over there, the less enthusiastic people are about it. It's debatable. There's several elements of this equation that are debatable. For example, the war in Ukraine, from the Ukrainian point of view, is not about land. Russia has all the land it wants. It's the biggest country in the world in terms of land. It's about people, and the problem is, slaughters behind enemy lines. There are 5 million Ukrainians that are behind enemy lines, so to speak, in eastern Ukraine under Russian occupation. 5 million. Anybody who's a patriot or a danger to Russia is in danger, to say the least. The problem is, if they seal the border and that's what they get, they'll slaughter all those people, or anybody who exhibits any hostility towards Russia and so on. And there's all these children. There's 100,000 Ukrainian children that are all somewhere in Russia, taken away from their parents and told their parents don't want them anymore.